What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and in this video I'm going to revisit the Hunt DLC that was the second one after the Chase. Obviously this one's also going to be part of Season 1, so it's going to be Episode 2, but I will be going over every DLC, guys, to see if these should actually return into Motorfest, and or at least a DLC type like these to actually be in Motorfest as well. So jumping right into this, guys, with the Hunt DLC. So this one's going to basically be very similar to the Chase update as well, except for this one you're basically going to be off-road the entire time in rally raid and or rallycross vehicles. Now don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not saying these DLCs are bad, but I do think a lot of players basically forgot about them. Now one thing I do have to admit though, I also do feel like you can make a lot of money from these. I do find some to be much easier than others, like the Space Center one here, and one of my favorite ones to do personally is going to be the Old Barns Hideout. Now, I did find this mission to be pretty dang easy, at least compared to some of the other ones. But one thing I did notice though, guys, if you guys are trying to grind these missions out for money, which to be honest, they're actually a really good way, you can throw all of your icon points on bucks and actually make a lot of money from these. But one thing I do have to admit though, I would actually say to keep these on the regular difficulty. I would say having this on Ace is going to be kind of annoying unless you guys did have to get gold parts. The main reason why I say this is yes, the normal ones will be on 8, hard is going to be on 10, then Ace will also be on 12. Now this can also come down to what you guys are actually planning on doing with these events, like going after followers and or money, and or maybe you might be grinding out some parts because then you will have to be on Ace. But to be honest though, if you are grinding out money, I would recommend keeping this on normal. You're going to lose out about 5 or 6k, but to be honest guys, I would say it's going to be much faster to take out 8. And before you're going after those other 4, you can actually jump into another event, because normally guys, depending on the RNG, you can get these done around 20 to 30 seconds. For example guys, when I was doing this on Ace, it was honestly a really bad run, but it took me around a minute and 30 to around 2 minutes to actually complete it. And I do have a feeling if you were to spend 2 minutes on doing one of these events, you're most likely going to jump into a race over doing one of these type of like chase events. So I guess it really is going to come down to preference of what you guys do want to do. Now I do feel like a lot of players most likely forgot about this Hunt DLC back in Season 1, and they most likely forgot about the Chase update as well. And the main reason for this though, is I really do feel like a lot of players most likely did not want to mess around with these type of events. And if you were to do some of these on Ace and your run was not going that well, some of these do take like a minute and 30 to well over 2 minutes to complete. I would actually run into some of them and basically do no damage. I also mentioned this being an issue in the other one as well, because for some odd reason guys, even in the Chase, I was noticing with a lot of the hyper and or street cars, you can run into them, and sometimes depending on the angle, I guess you don't do any damage. I was also noticing this with the rallycross and or the rally raid cars as well, and I do feel like a lot of players are not going to want to waste well over 2 minutes on one of these, because for one guys, they are going to drop the exact same parts as like the sleeper. So I do feel like a lot of players are most likely not going to want to deal with the Hunt update and or something like the Chase as well, only because they are going to feel slightly repetitive. To be honest guys, if these were to go into Motorfest, I would say they are going to have to be designed a bit differently. I did mention something about this back on the Chase video as well, and that's going to be due to the fact that these do have to be a bit better how they are designed. I do feel like if they did give the cars more health and or made this last like the race, similar to something like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2010, I really do feel like these races would be a lot more fun. Now, of course, Motorfest is most likely not going to have police, but it will have like the Interceptor type of units that are going to be part of like a separate update and or like a part of an old update. So you're most likely not going to have actual police cars in Motorfest, but maybe they could make it so like you're going after like bank robbers, or you're going after like a bunch of different like villains or something like that. I'm not really sure how they could do it, but I would say there's going to be a few different ways they could probably implement something into there. But one thing I was also thinking about, guys, is maybe this is also going to be an issue because of how the cars are going to be in Motorfest, we all do know the Supras and all those cars are going to be in there, so I do wonder if like the actual like weird police chase type of events and any of that stuff might actually have a bit of a problem being in Motorfest because of that though. If we do take a look at Need for Speed Unbound, for example, and or like the last two Need for Speeds, you're going to notice that Toyota is obviously not in the game because of like the illegal street racing stuff. Or I also really do wonder if Ubisoft might actually dodge these type of DLCs in the future. I really do have a feeling, guys, the chase and or the hunt is most likely not going to show up again. I also do think if they actually do release something like these updates again, they're most likely going to be different in some ways, but at the same time, though, we also do have the Interceptor vehicles in the Crew Motorfest as well. I really do think a lot of people can still mess around with those cars and or drive them. But to be honest, guys, I really don't think we're going to have more of these type of updates in the future. But then again, I do feel like there is a certain amount of people that probably do like these type of updates. I do think for a little while they most likely would be kind of fun, but after a month or so or even less than that, I feel like a lot of players are most likely going to forget that most of these updates even do exist in this game, so I do feel like they will have to change something around with this. Now, if they did actually design it like that, where you did do a whole race, and then also giving the cars a lot more health as well, so you actually do have to hit them multiple times, maybe, guys, they could do this in like a way of like, maybe they're like stolen vehicles and/or bandits, and you then have to track those cars down and get them back to their rightful owners or something like that. Like, maybe they can throw a twist into it, and that way you're not going to be like a police officer or something like Need for Speed Unbound has actual police going after you. So it's going to be more of like an illegal type of racing type of thing. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see in the future, guys. If we do see something like the hunt, I would like to know what you guys think in the comments below. Would you like to see something like the chase or something like the hunt being added into Motorfest? I do feel like a lot of players might like to see some of these old DLCs return, but of course, guys, they're most likely going to be a bit different. But I would like to know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more insight.